Okay, let's go to our politicians joining us. Jaivir Shergill, who was handling the Congress's campaign in coastal Karnataka. Also joining me at the moment is Zafar Islam of the BJP. But first to you, Jaivir Shergill, it appears at the moment, Mr. Shergill, that the BJP's wiped the floor out of you in coastal Karnataka. They've wiped it off you completely.
Definitely, Rajdip ji, looking at the trends, it is indeed a rude shock, big disappointment. Congress party, purely going on the trends at this hour, Congress party definitely failed to read the anti-incumbency wave which was in the favor of the government. Congress party hoped that there was no anti-incumbency factor. You know best, you were there. Coastal Karnataka was always a challenge for there. We had 13 out of 14 seats, but it will come down to this. This was completely unexpected. A lot of need to put the ear on the ground this hour, but mind you, I think if my information is right, there are a lot of seats which are less than 2,500 vote margin.
Jaivir Shergill, was there a Hindutva wave, particularly in the parts with large minority population, coastal Karnataka, Uttar Kannada, where Anand Kumar Hegde ran this aggressive campaign against the minorities, whether it was Aditya Nath campaigning in that area around Bhatkal, whether it was in Bangalore city, which has a large Christian Muslim population, whether it was in Udupi?
Definitely, if the trends hold good, there is no doubt in saying that the BJP's polarization card played a big factor in attracting votes. I'm not going to miss any votes. I don't want to give it a name of a Hindutva versus a religion, but Mr. Yogi Adityanath, Anant Hegde, with the kind of remarks they made, they were pitched in for a specific purpose, and they seem to have consolidated and get the message across, which in itself is a worrying thing. In fact, if BJP can get these numbers with the Yediyurappa, with the Reddy, with the Aditya Nath as the star campaigners, then definitely a lot to think about and introspect.
Right. Syed Zafar Islam, what worked? Is there one strategy that worked across Karnataka or different strategies? Hindutva in coastal Karnataka, anti-incumbency in central Karnataka, putting up, crafting intelligent alliances in Hyderabad, Karnataka, breaking the Congress in those regions. What worked? Was there one strategy or different strategies for different regions of Karnataka?
Well, Rajiv, it's a collective effort, but what worked really is the admiration of people of Karnataka for the Honorable Prime Minister. There's a huge admiration, the love and affection they showered on the Honorable Prime Minister during his rallies was evident from the fact that the huge number of their turnout, they came in large numbers, and that was the turning point, and purely because section of media was repeatedly saying that we will never get majority, section of media was saying that we will not cross the 100 marks, but we were confident, and day one we were saying that we will get majority, not only majority, absolute majority, go beyond 130. In fact, I started the day with you, Rajdip, at 7 o'clock, and even at that time I said that based on the feedback from our Karyakarta, from booth level Karyakarta and our Parna Pramukh, we are confident of not only absolute majority, will go beyond 130, and as we go along, we will see that as the sixth round is over, but once we are in 7, 8, 9 rounds, you will see the number will also further improve for Bharatiya Janata Party. And I also said that for Congress, it will be below 60, and it looks like that they will go below 60 as well. But what is important for all of us to realize, Rajdip, that the people's faith in Bharatiya Janata Party and its leader is very evident, and people having no faith in Congress leadership, particularly Rahul Gandhi, is also very evident. In fact, the ability to lead a party is something which has also been questioned by his own lieutenant, like Salman Khurshid had questioned. There are many other who is not speaking in public, but they have not come out in full public domain. But they are speaking to themselves that they are uncomfortable with the kind of leadership they have in Congress party. And today it is again proven that last 29 states, we are now in 22 states, and under his leadership, Congress has lost all the election, and that suggests that in Congress, as long as Congress will follow Vanshvad, the dynastic policy, they will continue to face this kind of situation purely because people of India have discarded, rejected the policy what Congress had been following all along.
Okay, that's a strong statement, of course, politically, and I would expect you to make one. But look, when you look at these,
Can I come in?
Yes, Mr. Shergill. What is your excuse this time? Rahul Gandhi campaigned aggressively. You had a strong regional satrap, and yet you lost. The BJP wins in states where it's in power in 5 years, like Gujarat. You lose in Karnataka, where you are in 5 years. Looking at 2019, it seems like a done deal today, Jaiveer. Or you have to tie up with parties like the JDS, get off your high horse and accept Deva Gowda as an equal. The Congress cannot be the only magnet for anti-BJP forces. Would you concede that?
Two quick points. Firstly, on the big speech we just heard on how people have faith in Mr. Modi. Look, what's sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander. When they lose Phulpur, Gorakhpur and 11 Lok Sabhas, then it is not a referendum on Mr. Modi, then these are local factors. But when they win, then Mr. Modi is great. So BJP should have broad shoulders to accept and put a victory and defeat equally on Mr. Modi's and Mr. Amit Shah's shoulders.
Jaiveer Shergill, are you seriously comparing a by-election in Gorakhpur with a victory for them in Karnataka? With a victory for the BJP in Karnataka? Come on.
I am not, and I will not
take a recourse to these kind of victories.
I am not, and I'll be shying away from reality if I do. 1 second. I am not, and I'll be shying away from reality if I do. I am. If we lose, then we have to accept defeat with utmost grace and humility.
The fact.
But yes,
realize
definitely,
the ground reality. Zero confidence of people in Rahul Gandhi's ability to lead a party.
Please, I am realizing, Mr. Zafar Islam. I am realizing. I am realizing when you are quick to quip on Mr. Rahul Gandhi, apply the same logic when you lose state elections. Did you say Mr. Modi's name when you lost Punjab? Did you take Mr. Modi's name when you lost Goa and Manipur? Did you lose Mr. Modi's name when you lost Delhi and Bihar?
Sir, this is not a channel for cross-talk. Let the viewer doesn't understand what. I will give you a final word, Jaiveer Shergill. Do you accept that Rahul Gandhi in some way, his hopes of becoming a magnet for anti-Congress forces has today diminished as a result of this defeat? He will have to work with the Deva Gowdas, work with the Mamtas, work with the KCRs, Akhilesh. That's the only message for the Congress. On your own, you cannot take on Narendra Modi.
Mayawati, working with Deva Gowda, has given them seats even when the Ahinda had taken away those votes.
Good point. No, even Mayawati...
Best ever performance by the JDS, which I would concede to Mr. Upadhyay, had been saying this for a while.
Okay. Respond to that, Jaiveer. Would you concede today that Rahul Gandhi will have to work with others? Ekla Chalo Re won't work for Congress.
No, Rajdeep ji, I think definitely this election outcome will make Congress relook at the different permutation and combinations which will be needed to take on the BJP in 2019. There is no doubt about that. As far as respect for alliances, I think let's be fair. Congress can't be accused of disrespecting their alliance partners. It is Mr. Modi. Yes, he has won today looking at the trends, but he wanted to put Deva Gowda in an old age home. And how treated L. Kedwani? Congress will look at rethink at permutation and combinations, learn its lesson from Karnataka and move on for Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh.
But Jaiveer bhai, would you accept that instead of Ghulam Nabi Azad and others today going to Deva Gowda's door, if you had gone to his door 3 months ago, tried to tie up with him, got Mayawati on board, you would have had a chance. The Congress seems to believe that regional parties, and Deva Gowda told me this, that regional parties are only the tail. They at the end of the day will run the show. India has changed. Look at the map of India. The Congress has to get off the pedestal that it alone runs India anymore. Has the Congress realized that? Will you go along with the Deva Gowda next time?
10 seconds.
No. On the hindsight, yeah, Congress was very optimistic that we'll emerge strong singularly. But if you look at where we felt we are not strong enough, we went in for alliance. Yet it may be a misreading in Bihar. We went in with the alliance partner, the Mahagathbandhan. It was not our arrogance. It was our acceptance of the reality. If the trends continues, we'll definitely, as I told you, rethink at the permutation and combination. And we can't take the benefit of the hindsight now. It's past.
I also want to make a point.
Right. Okay, Manisha Prem, and let's take this. Rahul Gandhi went into this election with a strong regional satrap in a state with a strong social base of the... 1 minute, Mr. Islam, just a minute. Mr. Islam, just a minute. In a state with a strong Congress base, the fact at the end of the day is that Rahul Gandhi's strategy for whatever reason has not worked. If I look at the voting percentages, had the Congress tied up with the JDS, this would be a no contest. particularly in Old Mysuru. Has the Congress to realize that you have to work with leaders? You cannot work on your own anymore.
So in a state where leaders are so strong, it needed to get SM Krishna in. It needed to have DK Shivkumar on its own side. Remember, Devagowda was reaching out to DK Shivkumar more than Mr. Siddaramaiah was. Today, in hindsight, one would say that a GK Parmeshwar and a Mallikarjun Kharge would not have done any damage to this.
Siddaramaiah overestimated himself, overestimated
Siddaramaiah's security for 5 years has come at the cost of the Congress party. That's the moot lesson that's coming out.
Interestingly, Javed Ansari, is that fair? That the Congress has a lesson to learn here? I mean, there are lessons it has to learn in every election. But the fact is, A, there can be no moral victories in politics. Now you have to fight to win. If you have to fight to win, the Congress's only hope is to tie up with regional satraps, who may necessarily also be competing for your base. But if you believe that Narendra Modi has to be defeated, that's your only hope. Otherwise, Modi Shah are too strong for you.
Look, for one, there is no moral victory in this. They've been routed, they've been decimated. Two, the Congress Congress needs to accept that the ground has shifted from under its feet. They are new ground. You can't be living in the past. You were a pan-India party. You are in danger of losing that tag. You have almost lost that tag. And the only way that the Congress party can move forward is to tie up and concede the supremacy of regional parties where it's not strong. So if an Akhilesh and Mayawati are stronger in Uttar Pradesh, and if the Congress has to play third or fourth fiddle, it should be prepared to accept that and prepared to do that.
The other point, because now the election that will come in are all direct fights, where you have Chhattisgarh, where you may well want to tie up with the Jogi, possibly, but in Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, you're in a direct fight. So the Congress is in trouble both ways. Direct fights in certain states, and the likes of Jogi, former congressman, who will fight as a third front. What does Rahul Gandhi now do? Today was a test for Rahul Gandhi, and let's be clear, he failed the test. He flunked it. He, at the end of the day, flunked the test.
What prevents him from tying up with a Mayawati in Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh?
What prevents him?
Why can he not?
So you're saying that he's going to have to, in a way, reach out to the, including a Mayawati in Rajasthan.
You have to concede a bit of ground to gain some ground.
What do you think? Because today is a bad day in the office for Rahul Gandhi and the Congress. In Gujarat, they could claim some kind of moral victory. Today, there are no moral victories, nothing. You've lost the election fair and square.
And I think he has, there were clear miscalculations, as Manisha had mentioned, whether it was going alone with Mr. Siddaramaiah, to the resentment of other strong leaders in the state, whether the feeling that there was no anti-incumbency, and as we can see, clearly that had been operating very, very quietly and silently in Karnataka for BJP to have such a decisive victory that is there. And also, let's look at it. In trying to consolidate with the Ahinda and the, trying to break the Lingayats, he actually then got the reverse effect, which was that the forward communities, Vokligas and Lingayats, consolidated to defeat the Congress in this particular election.
The Vokaligas of the old Mysuru region would wait, the assembly, he overworked. The Vokaligas of the Mysuru region would wait till wee hours, that even in the last days, Siddaramaiah would concede some ground in appointments to district boards, to universities, but he wouldn't do it. But Siddaramaiah, in a sense, it's only towards the end that the Vokaligas hedged themselves with the BJP.
But let's be clear, before we jump, there are vote share figures. The Congress has retained more or less its vote share.
No, it's actually got 2%.
Yeah, 2% more. So before, but having said that, the fact is the BJP runs more intelligent campaigns. They broke people from Kharge's MLAs in Hyderabad, Karnataka, sponsored the Mayawati MLAs in some places, we are told, Mayawati's candidate. 1,000, 2,000 votes make a difference in an election. The Congress doesn't seem to realize that the BJP is ahead of the game. They plan better, they work at it better. The Congress needs to realize elections are about planning a year in advance, not just in the last moment.
They prevented animosity with the JDS. They reached out to the JDS so that there could be some kind of understanding somewhere in such a close contest. I think ultimately this is not about the larger strategic decisions, and this is purely my own point of view. I think this is boiled down to last-minute managing of the elections, finding out those seats where you are trailing by 1,000 to 2,000 votes and saying, I want to put in an extra effort there to get beyond that 2,000 votes. I think in outsourcing the campaign to Siddaramaiah at some level, and Siddaramaiah himself may have been a little too arrogant in this election, overconfident.
That's a good point that Siddaramaiah didn't take. Do you agree with that, Harish Bijur, that, and many of us believe that Siddaramaiah had got his Ahinda strategy right, wide social base, forgetting at the end of Congress leaders who he had marginalized over the last 5 years, whether it was a Parmeshwara who perhaps could have been Deputy CM at some stage, whether it was the likes of Shiva Kumar, Vokaliga leader, Mallikarjun Kharge, who was also seen as a leader for Delhi, SM Krishna forced out. Do you believe, Siddaramaiah, you cannot work today Indian politics on the basis of one leader? Even Nitish Kumar had to tie up with the Lalu to defeat the BJP in 2015.
I think so. That's the learning out of Karnataka, because, you know, if you look at it, if there was a statement made by Mr. Siddaramaiah which said that he wouldn't mind a Dalit Chief Minister. If that statement had been made 2 days before, we don't know what could have happened. If you really look at it, you know, it is the entire issue which says that in the South, the local regional party is an important entity. Look around all the 5 South and literally we see that happening. I think there was an underestimate of the JDS, the power of the common man, as I call it, the JDS as a party. And I think if there was a pre-poll alliance, things could have looked different. But we were just talking about what kind of a sweet must be offered by the BJP now. And I would literally say that, you know, it should be a Shimoga sweet or a Shikaripura sweet. The name, you know, history tells us that Shimoga got its name when somebody was...
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.